doing today? Uh, Non-scheduled pod moment here, but big news coming out of Major League Soccer. So the news is schedule change for 2027. I think we all saw this coming, but it is now official. Just want to give a couple of quick thoughts. Uh, this is, I think, a good thing overall. I know the people up north, Minnesota. I mean, Montreal has an indoor stadium they can play in. Vancouver has an indoor stadium. So Montreal, Toronto, up north, they're having the fans at least are having an issue saying that this will kill the league or this is bad for the league or attendance is going to drop. And some of that thing, some of those things might be true, but in reality, what this will allow teams to do is buy and sell on the market more profitably, right? We know that selling during the summer window, which is the big money window, is bad for the league because that kills your whole season. So unless you're just giving up or the money is just too big for you to say no to, you're losing on money. And if you sell players in the winter, obviously smaller, shorter window, smaller amounts are spent in the winter window. So it is that's how the money aspect will be better. Along with this news, Apple TV also announced that they are readjusting the schedule and ending it in 2029. Also, according to reports, they're getting rid of their early exit clause for 2027. So they've all bought in. They're also getting rid of the MLS Pass function, so it'll just be on Apple TV with regular subscription. All season ticket members all across the league, they get that. But yeah, the big news today is a schedule change, which I think we, again, all saw coming. This is some of the graphics that are going around about how it could look. So for all the people up north, there will be a winter break and there will likely be a lot of travel south for the northern teams in December and then coming back in February. I also think some people are also overestimating how cold or how much snowfall you actually do get on a year-to-year basis, but it is a somewhat valid point that the cold is different. Now, I could argue with you that in the summertime, not only is there extreme heat, especially down south, there's also thunderstorms, a lot of rain delays. So if we were willing to play through 100-degree weather, I think we can definitely play through a couple of 20-degree games from time to time. The upside of this, the big upside for me is also the transfer market, which we discussed, and also the capability to have our playoff not compete with much of anything. Uh, so that will be pretty good, right? The NFL will be over by the time May comes around. So this is actually really good. Then you get we will miss the 4th of July game. Actually, maybe not. If it starts in July, maybe home opener, 4th of July. That's always a good fireworks show. That usually puts butts in seats. But we'll get a Thanksgiving game. Maybe if they do the scheduling right, maybe they'll do a Christmas, maybe a Boxing Day type schedule. Shout out to the EPL. So yeah, this is the big breaking news. Apple TV not renegotiate, but like reconfigure revision, and MLS is changing their schedule to I guess we'll instead of calling it the world schedule because Brazil doesn't play on the schedule. Uh, the J League, which we discussed a couple of weeks ago, they're changing it, but they're doing it before they're using the World Cup as the thing to take the break so that it doesn't kill the momentum. I'm sure MLS is going to do an MLS is back type tournament. You'll have the Open Cup, I think, to fill the gap between the season ending in 26th in December and the league starting again in July. So they'll fill that void because they have to at this point, right? So, but this is the big news. As far as the Apple TV deal goes, I think they re-signed Messi for 3 more years until 28. So that's kind of oh wait, now that I think about it, they re-signed him till the end of 28, and then they changed the schedule. So I'm sure that deal will have to be redone too. So it's just they're working it all out. Now, as the USL guy, I'm thinking this is where we have to decide: does USL follow suit? I think they're going to. I think they're using the USL Super League, the Women's League, as test bed. This is the second season of that, and they take a 5-week break in the winter. Now their teams, they do have some northern teams, right? Brooklyn and Spokane, Washington are cold weather teams, uh, and it seems season one went off without a hitch. I don't think they stopped any games for weather. Oh, for snow anyway, or cold weather. Uh, so yeah, they second season of it being done. MLS, and obviously as continued growth going with the Super League, I think it'll be shown. So now it's a question of whether NWSL follows this, whether the USL men's divisions follow this. Uh, are they gonna do, since it might be hard to change, but if they're going to do USL Division One, which is the league that doesn't exist, you might as well start off on the schedule because it will give you appropriate time. They'll give you a couple of months extra for you to work through whatever you need to work through instead of trying to rush for March of 28. You can be like, hey, we'll just play July. So they'll give you a couple of months extra for you to work through. So yeah, this is just a quick monologue. I don't know if I'm going to do too many of these. A little camera shy myself. So yeah, man, just like I said, like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys listening. But yeah, this is the big news. We normally record on Monday, but obviously this is big news that can't wait. So MLS schedule change. I know we're all, what's it going to be? What's it going to look like? How's the winter really going to affect it? So I think there's a lot of doom and gloom, but there are just certain things that had to be done and should have been done a while ago, if we're being completely honest. I know people were using the Canadian Premier League final as an example of, see, we can't play in the winter. And my point is, see, we're not playing in the winter currently, and a game like that still happened, right? Because we start off in February anyway. Like they said in the press release, this is 90% of the exact same schedule that is currently played now. You start in February, you end in December. So you start when it's cold in some of these places and you end when it's cold. So why not just switch and start when it's warm? It'll get cold, take a break, then it'll get warm again, and then you finish again in the summer. So I think a lot of foreign players, Europe, J League, all the leagues that follow the schedule. But like I said earlier, this is not the world schedule. This is just the FIFA schedule, because people will schedule international breaks. Like right now, the reason MLS playoffs are on a break is because this is the international window. So you have Messi playing Argentina playing Gambia. Obviously, I think Argentina already qualified, so this is just them going for a money game. Shout out to Musa, who scored today. I think it's his first senior men's international goal. So yeah, this is a great time for him to get hot. 19 goals in the season, and now that manager coach got to make a decision on whether or not he makes it to the World Cup next year. So that's pretty dope. Yesterday's price is not today's price for Musa. He took over. He bet on himself, and it paid off. Same thing with Cobra when Cobra was here. He couldn't get in. The manager wouldn't let him in. He came in. He banged in, I think, 7 goals in 6 games, or 7 goals in 5, some nonsense like that. Got a call up to the Czech team, and he was much older, obviously. So that was just we had a couple of games. I think it was in the Euros that he got to play in. But you bet on yourself. You come to the American League, who it has eyeballs on it, obviously, because of Son and Messi, as you see in the photograph. But there's still some people who think of it as the just retirement league type nonsense. There's some points to be made that it is, but we're getting younger and younger with the people who are, like, Son is still relatively young. Messi's still, to this day, the best player in the world. I know sometimes it looked like he's moving around traffic cones out there, but he would do that anywhere. He actually did it anywhere. He did it in France, he did it in Spain. He came here and he did it. He didn't do it in the Premier League, but I don't think anyone could say that he couldn't do it on a cold night in Stoke. But that's the news, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. We sent out an email and text message. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for people who want to come in and join us at the Bear Guardians and take over. I'm president for a couple more weeks, but we really, really, really want new fresh blood to infuse and pick up where we're not, fill in the gap where we're not really quite getting some fresh blood. We really need someone with graphic design. That's like a really big thing that we're looking for. So like, share, and subscribe. Sign up for the newsletter on the website so you can get text messages and emails. We don't like spam you. It's usually once a week at most. So yeah, look out for that. And thanks again, guys. Peace. Guardians out.